Jesus Christ.
Don't worry, guys. I had a C-section, so everything's pristine down there.
Wow.
No. Not in public, I won't. But
what's good, you guys, and welcome back again on another episode. If you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in on this episode. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the cancellation of Avery Woods on TikTok right now, because I think the conversation is more on TikTok. The last release podcast I had with Avēry has been sparking a lot of conversation because of some points she had made in that conversation, and she said she was just being sarcastic. Is a sarcasm, and it's like it's comedy to her, but she can see where people are coming from because she has released an apology video, which a lot of people believe that it's not an apology video. There are three things that she said on that podcast that has been sparking a conversation, which we are going to be talking about the conversation of one of the things that she had mentioned on her podcast. First, she made a joke about Jesus, like in a very sexual way, you guys, like talking about what Jesus is going to do to you in a very sexual way. And you guys know how the religion community is, especially on TikTok. They are canceling her. And to be honest, you don't even have to be religious. You just have to respect people, saying that boldly and laughing about it. Even the Avēry with her on the podcast was so shocked that came out of her mouth. But another thing she said on her podcast that is sparking a lot of conversation, and I feel like it's very important as well to discuss, is the statement she made saying that, don't worry guys, I had C-section twice, so I'm still pristine down there, like insinuating that down area is still very intact because she gave birth through C-section. And you guys know the conversation around C-section when it comes to women. There are people till date that hold the notion that if a woman should give birth through C-section, they are weak. Like literally till date, some people have that mentality. And I feel like it's a very good conversation to have. This is sparking a lot of conversation on TikTok, and I have put together what the people have to say about that statement. So without wasting much time, let's just jump right into it.
As a labor and delivery nurse, after just watching the Avery Woods and Avēry podcast, I am so disappointed. Someone with as much influence on younger girls, new moms, or moms in general, okay, for you to get on your podcast. And what you're doing is basically insinuating that women who have vaginal births are wrecked. You understand how that might sound? I just want to make it very clear. The body heals, no matter what kind of scarring you have, and that's okay. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And if that girl made any one of you feel badly, you are still beautiful and you are not wrecked. No matter how you birthed your child, whether it was from a C-section or from a vaginal.
Okay, so Avery Woods is a grown, college-educated wife and mother. But why does it come off that what she's saying is almost such childlike, little girl, pick-me logic and reasoning? To sit in front of a man who's not your husband and ask him if he hypothetically would have sex with you, and then insinuate that you're pristine down there, even though you've gotten multiple cosmetic surgeries relating to how your body has looked after childbirth. It's almost like it lacks logic and reasoning and lacks the kind of wisdom that you would have having those types of life experiences. So is that the thing now, that grown women are choosing to purposefully act higher their fame and fortune grows, and lacking the courage that it takes to have a backbone and take a stance on a situation?
Two of the best parts of my job are, one, delivering babies, and two, empowering women to feel their best and feel confident in their own skin. And part of that comes with your labor and delivery experience. There is so much talk right now about Avery Woods and the comment that she made about things being pristine down there because she had a C-section. There is no superior way to have a baby. The end goal is always healthy mom, healthy baby. We always go for a vaginal delivery if that's the safest option for the mom, because the recovery is easier, there's less morbidity and mortality towards the mom and the baby. I understand what she was going for with that comment, because it's almost like a coping mechanism. I feel like a lot of women will say that because they're like, oh, if I have to have a C-section, at least I don't have to rumble things down there. That's also not coming without risks and changes to your body. Anybody going in to have a baby is not expecting to come out the same person, whether it's a vaginal delivery or a C-section, and your body is going to change. A new person, and it's different, and you're never going to be the same because you brought a new life into the world. There are women who will feel like their core is never the same because they had a C-section. There are women who will feel like their pelvic floor is never the same because of pregnancy, whether they had a vaginal delivery or a C-section. And I don't think that she meant to slander moms who have had a vaginal delivery. There's never someone's better because they had a vaginal delivery or someone's better because they had a C-section. Women need to uplift women and empower each other.
The episode that I did with Avēry was scripted.
these were questions that were, written by producers, and I probably should have spoken up and maybe dimmed it down a bit, and I chose not to. I need to remember that my sarcasm and my comedy is not going to be the same as other people's, and there's certain lines that I shouldn't cross, and I cross those lines, and I apologize.
Baby girl, let me hold your hand with a napkin when I tell you this, that you're not funny. Your jokes were in poor taste. You can't always blame your team, your producers, people with Bible verses for said jokes. Like, they just do not land. Jokes were never funny to begin with, especially because you practically joked that Jesus would SA somebody, and that you know how to take it from behind because you worked in peds. Peds and taking it from behind should never be in the same sentence, let alone even be a thought. Comments about having a C-section versus having a natural birth, like, bitch, don't piss me off. Perpetuating these misogynistic myths about C-section and natural births at your big age is wild, especially because you're also a nurse, like, dime linda. But what can we expect from you when you dead ass got onto this platform and practically stated that you loved your son more than your daughter? You literally came on here to say that, oh yes, I love my daughter, but my son, he just has my whole heart. That's freaking weird. Y'all forget that the reason why she has such a big platform is because she exploited the living heck out of her daughter. Put her in these inappropriate outfits, like, hazme el favor. Or a whole ass nurse, or were. I don't know if you're still practicing, but you should not be perpetuating these dangerous narratives that one birth leaves you nice and tight down there versus the other. Like, both births are exhausting and strenuous on your body. Like, what is wrong with you? The vibes that I got from your video is that I am sorry that you didn't find my jokes funny. That's literally it. You're not sincere whatsoever. The entire episode is weird, you're weird, and the followers that you have are also weird.
Friend, pick up the phone. I have a few minutes and I want to discuss the discourse with Avery Woods and her following. Okay, I just want to unpack a few things here. I unfollowed Avery back when she stated that she did not discuss politics. Back when we needed influencers and content creators to discuss politics because we knew of their influence. Okay? Follow me. So now Avery has the time to not only discuss politics but also discuss religion because of a comment that she made on a podcast with another straight man where they discussed in detail a lot of things, a lot of sexual things that if I was married, my husband would not be okay with, first of all. But outside of that, there was a comment that Avery made in regards to Christianity, and she could have left it as, this is not my ministry, moving along. She took it to the extreme. A lot of things don't floor me because I do also like to say things without having a filter, but my moral compass kind of kicks in. It's like, no, maybe you should not say that. That did not happen with Avery, and now she made an apology video where she's crying and she's now discussing the things that she should have discussed a long time ago. And yeah, I just want to know y'all thoughts. This is on Caucasian TikTok side, by the way. Okay, bye.
I want to give my thoughts on the whole Avery Woods situation as someone who is a Christian and a podcaster. First of all, I get it. You're on a podcast. Sometimes you say things, you ramble, you feel comfortable. Maybe you feel comfortable with the guest. But, she still posted it. And I think that's where it's the issue, is I review every single episode and make sure that what I'm saying would be okay to post publicly. But because I'm a Christian, I understand that you cannot judge people who are not a Christian because they're not held to the same standard as us. In the sense that if a Christian were to say that, yeah, other Christians should be like, yo, sis, that's not cool. But because she's not a believer and she blatantly says, I'm not religious, why would we expect her to speak highly about God or about faith when she's not a Christian? Now, that does not let her off the hook, nor do I think that anyone should be saying that about any religion. I would never do that about anyone's God. But it definitely does feel more personal because it is my Lord and Savior and it is a little bit blasphemous, but I can't fault her for something that she doesn't know. She also already stated that she has very judgmental Christians in her DMs, and I will be the first to admit, I am a Christian. However, I've seen sometimes Christians be some of the most judgmental people, and I just don't think we should be that way. I think we can communicate with grace and love and truth. In one, it's a very hard skill to do, but we should always aim to do that. And so sometimes Christians are the first ones to throw the stone, and I don't think that's fair. And so she already has this idea in her mind that all Christians are like this. So in her mind, she feels like she can kind of poke back because she feels like it's fair because they've poked her first. So this is not another chance for us Christians to throw another stone and another stone. This is a chance for us to show her love, show her truth and grace, and also like pray for her, genuinely pray for her. Avery Woods, if you see this and if you are ever curious about Christianity or faith or anything of that sort, I would love to be an ear to listen. I'd love to help you out. So if you ever see this, feel free to DM me or talk to me. So I just don't want to further confirm the bias that she has in her mind about how all Christians are, whatever that bias may be. And so is it wrong? Do I not absolutely like it? Absolutely. I don't like what she said. It definitely disturbed me. I would never do that. However, that's her prerogative to say that, and she has apologized, and I just hope that this would be a learning lesson, and that us Christians, we can be graceful and show her kindness and show her what grace looks like, because how many times have we said something so stupid and we felt bad and we're like, shoot, I should have never said that, and yet God still offers us the same grace and repentance and a chance to start over again. So let's do the same thing for her, and hopefully she won't do it again and she will learn this as a lesson. Let me know.
Not Avery Woods saying that she is pristine down there because she's had C-sections. That is giving off the most mean girl energy I think I've ever seen on this app. Like, seriously, like, that's one thing. Like, other than the whole Jesus dilemma, you don't talk about other women's private parts and basically insinuating that because you didn't have to push your kids out that your lady parts are pristine and ours probably aren't because we had to birth them through our hoo-haws. Mean girl energy.
Another thing I want to say about the Avery podcast controversy is that I'm 40. I'm almost 41 years old. So I remember life way before social media. You could easily avoid whole groups of people and whole scenarios and situations if you wanted to, because you weren't just like scrolling through and ending up somewhere that you don't want to be. Seeing something that you don't like or that doesn't resonate with you or that offends you, you think that it's about you. And there are a lot of reasons that people are pissed at her right now. The C-section comment, the Jesus comment, the alleged SA insinuation, every single thing that people are offended by, it's because they're making it about them. The Christians are in an uproar because they're mad that she said something about Jesus. The women that have, had natural births are pissed because they say that she insinuated that a C-section keeps your lady parts pristine. Therefore, the people that had vaginal births obviously are not pristine anymore. Religion, Christianity at least, I'll only speak about Christianity because that's my wheelhouse, cannot survive without black and white thinking. It's right or wrong, good or evil, heaven, hell, like that. You cannot be a Christian and have gray thinking. Black and white thinking is one-dimensional. It just sees the surface level. You are good, you are bad. This is right, this is wrong. This is good, this is evil. The opposite of black and white thinking or dichotomous thinking is dialectical thinking. It's gray thinking. So it's recognizing that there are multiple truths and multiple realities happening at the same time. And there's nuance and there is context, and dialectical thinking is using your freaking critical thinking skills. And Christians are so afraid of that because you can't be controlled if you think that way. And everybody that is putting their spin on the Avery thing is thinking in black and white instead of thinking, I don't know, maybe she just said something off the cuff and she didn't really think. Maybe that's not actually what she believes. Maybe she was nervous. Maybe it was scripted. Maybe there are relationships out there where her husband is totally fine with the way that she talked. Maybe just because your relationship doesn't look like that doesn't mean that that hers can't. There are so many other more important things that deserve our outrage right now. Like, if you are an American right now, there are so many more things that you can use your energy to be pissed about and make change with. You can stop listening to her, you can unfollow her, whatever. But there are just as many people that are fine with what she said, and like doing this like mass unfollowing or like block or whatever, cancel, is just so stupid. Use that energy and put it towards, fighting against all this legislation against women, or against the fact that like most of you Christians that are in an uproar about Avery Woods and this like alleged essay grape comment that she made, voted in a freaking grapist to the Oval Office. So let's talk about that. You are not allowed to be outraged by something that you're equally a part of. So yeah, use your energy for something else. I mean, if you want to be outraged by this, that's totally fine, but it's showing who you really are.
What do you guys think about our statement? Or what do you think about how people are reacting to her video? Like I said, there are 3 points that has been going viral that has got a lot of people talking. There are so many people on the Jesus comments, which I don't even want to bring here because I just feel like it's very disrespectful. Like saying, oh, Jesus is going to do this to you, do that to you, in a very rascal way ever. Like, you guys, I can't, it's so foul. Like, it's not making any sense. She made an apology video saying she needs to understand that not everybody understand the sarcasm, and that it was a script, like, the production and all of that, trying to like put the blame on the production, and people are saying, no, you cannot always come online to put the blame on your production. I think she went viral a few months ago as well, talking about how she loves a boy child and just like, showing favoritism because she has a boy child.
My mom's feel me on this, but my son has my heart and my soul. I obviously am obsessed with Stevie Lee. She is just the greatest little girl in the world. But my whole life, I always wanted to be a boy mom. And I remember when I found out I was pregnant with him, and I was just ecstatic because I was such a tomboy growing up.
Just showing that she fancy a boy child more than a like girl child, like that went very viral as well. She has huge women following, and because majority of the people even stitching to her video are women as well, so they are like, you are a woman, why are you saying that? Like, why would you even use something like that as a joke, especially childbearing like that? Other than that as well, she was on the podcast literally asking the guest on her podcast, Harry, if Harry was going to lay with her. And I think that is what led into the conversation of, oh, you know what, don't worry, I have C-section and I'm pristine out there. Like, it is literally very foul. Like, it's not making any sense. This person said, CS times 2 years, and I have spent 8 months in the PT for pelvic floor and back pain following my last one. Such a strange thing for her to say. Another one said the weirdest thing was the don't worry guys, like, is she planning on others visiting that area other than her husband? Come on, she was even asking the guest on the podcast if if he is going to, like, have a thing with her. This other person said, I had a C-section and still pee when I jump, laugh, cough. It is not pristine, but my baby's scars and fever are what her. Nothing beats the strength of becoming a mama, C-section or vaginally. I don't even think we should be having a conversation of, oh, whether you gave birth to vagina or you gave birth to C-section. You brought a life into this world. That is what is more important. Like, in fact, the most important part of it. Like, it's so insane saying, oh, I'm pristine down there because I had C-section. This other one said, as a pelvic floor therapist, I can confirm having a C-section does not save you from experiencing symptoms of postpartum pelvic floor dysfunction. Let me hear what you guys think about all of this conversation. She made an apology video. People are not accepting the apology. She's the one on the chopping blocking list on TikTok this week because it's a new week. So she's the one on the list being dragged and being unfollowed right now. But let me hear what you guys think. Do you think people are overreacting? Because there are some actually stitching saying, oh, you guys are a bit overreacting. She might not see the way you guys saw it and all of that. But then, let me hear what you guys think about her video. I will see you guys in the next one.